Good afternoon, everyone. So, we'll be discussing a topic that is named as biosphere. Let us mind map for that topic. Okay. So, what is biosphere? Biosphere is actually a sphere which constitutes of life. Okay, we have some questions like what are the types of spheres? We have lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. All these spheres together called as the things that support life to a human, animal, and plant, and these are again interdependent with each other. You can see here, uh, biosphere means it is related to life, which supports life. Life is dependent on air, right? A human will be taking air, so this will be abstracted from the atmosphere, and the life is dependent on water, and that is called as hydrosphere, from which we get water, is called as hydrosphere. And in order to live we need some space, some land, that is called as lithosphere. So a man, in order to live, in order to drink, in order to take air, everything, we have some spheres named as atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere. And in order to have all these and get life, that will be getting that we will get from biosphere. Okay, so this is what the biosphere is, where the life is existing. And we'll see the uh, concept now. So, according to many geographers, life itself constitutes a separate sphere called biosphere. You can see in this picture where a biosphere is in the in between, where on the earth it is called as lithosphere, and water, the surface will be called as hydrosphere, and the atmosphere will be having air. So this, and biosphere is nothing but the life sphere that gives life to the human being by depending on the all about three spheres. Biosphere composed of living organisms. Okay, like biota and non-living factors from which they derive energy. Biota means plants from the living organisms, and the non-living factors like the water, air. This is the non-living factors. Means from a living factors, from a plant to the non-living things like from air, water, the life will be given. That is nothing but the biosphere. We'll see the interrelation with other spheres. Biosphere have some different relations, as I have said. A human, in order to live, they will be absorbing air from atmosphere. You can see in the picture, and uh, and in order to drink water, in order to live, in order to agriculture, in order to irrigate the lands, to get vegetables, fruits, for everything, they'll be depending on water. And soil means it's a lithosphere where the agriculture process will be continuing, where the decay of human, animal, plants will be seen. So this is what the interrelation that a biosphere has with other spheres. You can see I have given some information that you to have life, human, animal, plant, everything will be depending on atmosphere. That is true, right? And they'll be depending on hydrosphere or water, and to irrigate land and to drink, to get cultivated crops, they'll be using lithosphere. So as we have discussed on life, now we'll discuss about food with which life will be existing. And the food cycle means every plant, animal, and human are dependent on each other. So the decay of dead animals and plants are broken down into particles called as organic compounds. The decay means the dead animals and the dead plants. The decomposition of those particles are called as organic compounds. So you can see in the picture, the fox, when it deads, it decomposes, and when the plant, when a leaf is fell down, it decomposes. That will be eaten by a caterpillar, and again this caterpillar will be eaten by a bird, and this bird will again be eaten by a fox. So this is a food cycle process which will be continuing. Means it's a chain process where one thing will be dependent on other for food. This is called as the food cycle process, where everyone, where human, plant, animals are dependent on each other. So this is the food chain process. You can see the plant is absorbing the nutrients, means the organic compounds, the decay of the dead animals that will be absorbed by plant from soil. The nutrients will be absorbed from soil and light will be absorbed from sun. And this way, in the form of photosynthesis, they'll be creating, they'll be producing fruits, vegetables, and those will be eaten by human animals. Okay, like the herbivorous animals will be eating the plants. Like herbivorous means they'll be eating only plant eating animals are called as herbivores, like goat, cattle, giraffe, deers, etc. So this is the food chain process where a plant will be producing a food by absorbing nutrients from the soil. Means the decomposition part of the dead animals will be collected as nutrients from soil by the plant, and from sunlight it will be creating fruits, etc. will be eaten by animals, plants. So this is what the food chain process is. Every animal, human are dependent on each other. So we'll see what are carnivorous animals. As I said, herbivorous are the green, plant eating animals. Carnivorous are they'll be eating flesh. Flesh eating animals are called as carnivores. We have some of the examples, and you can see in the picture: cheetah, the lion, leopard, jaguar, cats, fishes, etc. So these are the carnivorous animals. Now we'll see how a bacteria and fungi will help in decomposition. You can see here a plant, when it is grown from absorbing the nutrients from soil. When a leaf is fell down, the dead part will be eaten by an earthworm. That earthworm will be again eaten by some other small birds. Okay, so and that bird will be again eaten by animals. So this is a continuing process. The life cycle will continue. So here the bacteria will help in decomposition of those organic compounds. As I have said, organic compounds means the decay of the animals and the plants. That will be broken down into small parts by bacteria and fungi. Those will be absorbed by the plants in order to grow. Okay, this is what the life cycle is all about. Now we'll see the ecological crisis. What is ecological crisis? When a disturbance is seen in this life cycle, where a plant is dependent on soil, on the other animals, on the dead part, on the decay of the animals, and the animals are again dependent on plants, where human are dependent on plants. In this way, in this cycle, if one particle is missing, means it's a disturbance to that cycle, and that is called as ecological crisis. Now we'll see an example. If a particular species depended on plant, okay, when it is exterminated, when a small fungi or a bacteria is not there due to some reasons, when it has come to an extinction, then what will happen? That plant will be growing with an unlimited way. Then that will be causing an disturbance to other plants, to animals, to human. That growing, unlimited growing of plant would cause a very big disturbance to human also. So this is what called as the disturbance in the life cycle. Okay, and this life cycle disturbance is called as ecological crisis. We'll see one of the example of reduction of vulture community. We have seen in these present days, where we find extinction of many animals due to various reasons. Like if we see in vulture will be eating cattle. But what happening is, the farmers, in order to treat their cattle, they'll be injecting the diclofenac to those cattle. and that injected cattle will be eaten by vulture, and in this way the diclofenac chemical will be absorbed by the vulture, and that would be leading to the death of vulture. So this is what is making the reduction in the community of vulture. In this way the extinction has been happening to all the animals, to plants, which is causing a disturbance to the life cycle process. We have many examples of extinction of many animals, birds, plants. Okay. So we'll see how the will be affecting in human life. You know, these ecological crises, the extinction of animals, how is it causing effects on human life? We'll be using a lot of insecticides, fertilizers in agriculture field, which will be causing an damage to the other birds, other insects, and other animals. Due to which there is an extinction of some animals. And we'll see an example. The industry waste will be released into the ocean, where that released waste, the released organic chemicals, which are very dangerous, will be absorbed by microorganisms that are present in the ocean. And those microorganisms are eaten by fish, and this fish, the infected fish, will be again eaten by human, which causes an illness to the man. So this is what how a human is again affecting due to this overuse of all insecticides, fertilizers, you know, damaging the biosphere, disturbing the life cycle. All this is made by man. Okay, the disturbance in the life cycle would be called as ecological crisis. This is all about biosphere. In the next class, we'll discuss the next part of the lesson. Thank you.